Print or digital? If given a choice, which one you like personally?
I would still go with print.
Still. Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Secure Talk by N.K. Mehta. As you know, this channel is dedicated to spreading awareness about cybersecurity, data security and personal security. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Suresh Vijay Raghavan, CTO of the renowned newspaper The Hindu. Welcome Suresh sir. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Mehta, for having me on board.
Suresh sir, before I start the talk show, I would like to tell, for last 25 years I'm in Chennai and my morning is not complete with the Hindu newspaper, the physical copy along with my tea. So, just a question, there are few people who still love physical copy of the newspaper and I'm sure the population is going down slowly and slowly, people are turning to digital. How has been changed and how much percent do you think people are going digital and how many are still like me loving the physical copy?
As you rightly said, the population of people who are reading physical is going down.
Right.
And that's a global phenomenon. It happened in the West a few decades back.
Right.
It has started in India for the last, say, 5 years or so. So while it's moving to digital, right? There's still a large population that still like you, want to read the paper every day physically. And that transition is happening and that's what the media industry in India has recognized and we are all going through this digital transformation journey itself now.
Superb sir, superb. Nice to know that still there are people who love the physical copy.
Yes.
I am not the odd man out. Sir, the Hindu is 145 years old. How did you transition to digital mode without, I will say, losing the, we call it old world charm?
See, our whole technology adoption has been like adopting technology by still holding to the traditional values.
Correct.
So we hold on to our editorial core values in terms of editorial integrity and sticking to facts. So that has not changed.
Okay.
So we have been adopting technology from the very first time where there was manual printing with using hands to create the block for printing, from photo composing to computerization. Now we are into completely digital transformation where the content itself is delivered in multiple channels, right? But in spite of all this happening, our core editorial values has not changed. So we are sticking to the editorial value because that is what the reader comes to us for, right? People come to us for what Hindu says about a specific topic, how we explain a specific context. So that has not changed.
Right.
But the medium in which we are reaching the subscribers are changing today and it's changing very rapidly.
Super, super. Sir, as I understand from social channels, you won the CTO of the Year award. So, what helped you lead this digital journey? Any particular challenges which you still remember?
First, I would thank my team and our management and other peers within the organization, without which I wouldn't have got the CTO of the Year award, right? It's all their hard work and their collaboration, cooperation, and award came to me. See, as I said, it's a 145-year-old legacy. Change is something not that easy. But in spite of that, we have changed a lot. As I said, India has been pioneer in technology adoption always. Okay. So we used to be in the forefront in terms of any new technology. We were the first to go with fully computerized page making and remote printing in as early as 1992. In India, we were the first newspaper to do that actually. Might be the magazines were doing, but as a full-fledged newspaper, we were the first to do it.
Okay. Okay.
So this technology changes, while this happens, we have not diverted from our core values. Our core editorial value still remains the same, and we stick to that. But the way in which we are reaching our subscribers are changing.
That's true.
So we have recognized that the digital transformation is imperative, and we started this transformation journey in 2000. Very first and most important thing is the management's vision that this has to be done. So that was very important. Then, as a person who was leading this exercise, I came up with, normally I do what is called a single page enterprise architecture, which is not an enterprise architecture in the traditional sense, but it's one page that says what exactly we want to do. It's a diagram. So we identified 7 transformation domains within the organization. And in these 7 transformation domains, we have to make changes in people, process, technology,
Right.
data and information. All these areas has to change if we have to take this digital transformation journey forward. So each of this transformation domain had its own technical challenges. People have to be upskilled, cross-skilled, and we have put plans to skill people up so that they are up to the mark, because people in the organization had domain knowledge, so they need to be empowered with knowledge about the new technology. Those trainings were given, and that's how this whole digital transformation happened. The technology aspect is done. Now we are in the process of bringing the cultural and the editorial changes to move towards the new technology.
Right. And leading question to this, sir, you would have seen a lot of innovative changes happening in your long journey. What are the few interesting innovative changes which has happened in media technology, and how challenging it is from cybersecurity point of view? I would like to stress a little bit on cybersecurity point of view.
See, the very fact that we are moving from traditional printing on paper to digital automatically brings in cybersecurity as one core component. Right. So today we reach subscribers through websites. That means you come to a website, read news. We have mobile apps, and we use social media to reach also, right? So, and our whole production process used to be technology driven. That means we were using technology to build the paper to print, right? The page was done in the computers only.
Of course.
But people were receiving it in newspapers. Now that channel has become diversified.
Correct.
So apart from going through paper, we are going through digital media, right? Which means we are exposing ourselves to the whole digital ecosystem, which means we are exposing ourselves to all the threat factors that is available today.
Right.
So cybersecurity has to be part and parcel of the way we think today. It cannot be said that we will look at cybersecurity later. Now it is from DevOps we have come to DevSecOps. If I say we are talking about DevSecOps in the newspaper industry, you can realize that how important cybersecurity has become in our core day-to-day production process itself.
Right. One important thing, sir, for a general public, fake news is everywhere. Today we see a WhatsApp forward, again somebody forwarding, it is a fake news and things like that. How do you, as a media company, know whether it is true or it is actually fake? Can you throw some light for our general viewers?
I think misinformation travels very fast today compared to actual information, right? We saw this during the recent Operation Sindur also, right? And information warfare is a new norm today, where you use actually fake news to tide over and make the good news die very fast, right? Okay. But at this point, I can honestly say that we are not using technology to identify and suppress fake news, right?
But is it possible?
Sorry?
Is it possible to identify using technology?
I think that is something that we are also exploring, but today it's our editorial process.
Okay.
Their multi-layered reviews and verification system that they ensure that the source is verified. Okay. Source comes from an authentic person known to them. That's a verification process which has been traditionally in place, which is actually being useful for us today.
Right.
Because still, even if you take, for example, with colleges are struggling with finding whether the student has generated the project report by himself or he has used ChatGPT to generate this. Right. They are unable, I think now I read tools are coming to detect whether this is AI generated content, right? But whether it is fake, something that unless you have a proper source verification process, and which traditionally as a newspaper or a journalism has that process is inbuilt. Right. That's what actually comes to rescue today, I would say. I don't think technology is helpful in this matter at this point in time, but that is the way we should be going.
But I'm sure, sir, if that technology comes, there will be another technology coming in to bypass that technology.
It is always like the bad threat actors use the same technology that the defenders also use.
Right. Sir, there are so many compliances now coming in various industries. For example, healthcare has HIPAA compliance. Do you have such compliance in print media industry? I'm sure ISO or a GDPR compliances also may be one, but the main important is the Data Privacy Act, which has come to India. How challenging it is to keep up with these compliances, at least in your organization?
Yeah. See, as a media organization, we are not under any regulatory, except for the Data Protection Act, Data Privacy Act. That is applicable to everybody who handles P2 data, right? So we will handle P2 data of subscribers. So that might be the one that is coming to us from a regulatory standpoint.
Right.
But all the other standards are not, we need not be compliant with that, but from a best practice standpoint, we actually adopt controls. We actually have a project called Project Samrakshana, which is about building proper technical controls and processes for information and data security using the various ISO standards that's there, right? But I'd also been a consultant in implementing ISO standards in multiple organizations when I was working as an independent consultant.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what I see is all these ISO standards, they have lots of controls that are overlapping to each other, right? And for a specific domain, that control expects you to do something very specific.
Right.
And now the most important part is, are we going to adopt these things as a checkbox, or you're looking at adopting them as part and parcel of your day-to-day process?
Okay.
So while consulting, I used to always say that if an audit is going to happen and you say I want to prepare for the audit, then you have not implemented the controls properly.
Right.
If you have adopted that as a process, you should say you come and audit me anytime, because that's what I am doing on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
It should be satisfying the audit requirements. So that's the most important thing. All these various standards, though they have a specific objective, there is a commonality in terms of controls. But organizations should actually adopt that as a process and make it, this is the way we do things.
Right.
So then I don't see a big challenge in doing them.
Right.
We have taken the same thing, though we don't need to be regulatory wise being compliant. We adopted 27001, we adopted 22301 for business continuity, and even 27701 from data privacy standpoint. We have taken those controls and putting it there. But this data privacy brings a different angle, if you ask me. Apart from data security, data privacy brings an ethical aspect to it,
Correct.
accountability aspect to it when you start managing P2 data.
Right.
This ethical aspect was not there until data privacy came into picture. So now, as an organization that is bound by ethics, you need to make sure that you are protecting your, not only your subscriber data, even your employee data is P2.
Of course.
You have to protect that. So that is a new angle that comes in that we have to be careful now.
Super. Very nicely put, sir. Very nicely. So a leading question to this which comes in mind is, reputed papers like the Hindu can afford to have all this in place. They can also spend, they will have team to look after. But do you think all the regional players, a smaller newspaper, or in that matter a smaller organization will be able to cope up with this compliance of personal data privacy?
Yeah. See, there are multiple ways of doing this, right? As being as a security industry for more than 2-3 decades, you surely agree with me that a control environment need not be only technology based.
True.
Right? I can have a ledger to log who is coming in, have a person make sure he identifies before allowing the person inside, or I can do it using thumb or face impression, right? So this, all the standard does not say you must use technology to solve a control requirement. So small organization need not spend big on technology, but they can have process based controls in place, still adopt the basic requirements of the standards to make sure that, at least from data privacy standpoint, I would say ethically they ensure that if I have data, P2 data and Excel file, let me at least password protect that.
Okay.
So that way I don't need to worry about if this file gets exposed, people will be able to get the data out.
Right.
Even small organizations can adapt as long as they ensure that I'll take it as a process and implement the process. Where process based implementation is going to cost me more than technical implementation, I should switch to technical part.
Right. Thank you so much. I think I'm sure our audience will relate to it, what you are saying. That's great, sir. Sir, another question. These journalists who join, basically newspaper like you or other media companies, do you think cybersecurity should be taught to them in the school of journalism from where they are coming? It should be made a standard practice as such.
In my opinion, it has to be a standard practice, not for journalists alone. I think anybody who is coming to study in college, I think the basics of cybersecurity and information security has to be taught, because now we are in the UPI world. Right? Even a street vendor is using UPI, and it's very important that everybody has the basic knowledge of cybersecurity in place. And from a journalist standpoint, as we discussed a couple of questions before, they have to deal with information warfare. Right?
Correct.
So they have to ensure that their leads are protected, their sources are protected.
Correct.
The devices that they use to collect data, enter data, and send data has to be protected. Which means for them, the basic nuances of cybersecurity has to be taught,
Right,
so that
right,
they know
right.
when they are on the field, they understand what best practices they should follow, how they can protect their own devices and their own circumference from these cybersecurity threats, and it's very essential for
Right,
them.
right.
And we are moving more digital, right? More digital happens. I would give a simple example that happened in 1991-92 time, when you used to send reports using floppy disks.
Yes,
So that
yes,
means
yes.
they type in a computer with floppy disk and use a dial-up modem to send, right? There was an automated program that would pick up all the files that had the date extension based on the date and send it back to a central site. 1 year, the previous year's file was still there on the floppy disk. It actually picked up the file and sent it.
Oh,
and
okay.
think if this file is coming from one of our key reporters, the desk could see the reporters reporting it for the day today. So from that angle, you can see that even when those days when we did not worry too much about cybersecurity, there could be issues that can actually land into a wrong reporting or wrong things happening. So today it's very important that they are aware of all these things.
Of course, very nicely put, sir. Sir, somewhere in earlier conversations you had mentioned your team blocks about 10 million requests per month. Now that's huge. In newsroom, speed matters, right?
Yes.
So how do you balance this speed versus some cybersecurity challenges which may slow down your process?
See, one thing, while speed is important, we feel that speed cannot be at the cost of security.
Very
So
right.
that's the basic thumbnail rule
Very
that
right,
we have.
very right.
And in media, generally in the media business, when we publish articles, we leverage the CDN network more to deliver content.
Okay.
So basically, almost 90% of the content is delivered on the edge itself.
Okay.
It does not come to a backend. Say,
Okay.
when an article is published for the very first time, and you are the very first person to click on the URL,
Right.
your request only goes to the backend.
Okay.
So moment that article is delivered, the CDN caches it globally,
Very
and
nice.
all subsequent requests are handled by the CDN itself.
Locally. Okay.
So all hits comes to the CDN first. So we actually run a WAF layer on the CDN to make sure that there itself we actually look and remove. And when I said this million requests were stopped, these are DDoS requests and even malicious requests, and also bots that actually try to crawl our sites. So all these things are stopped at CDN itself.
Okay.
So that's our frontline security. Then after we bypass the CDN, we have the rest of all the multi layers before you actually come down to the back end. But CDN and the WAF layers plays a very crucial part in our whole data security posture, and that's where we achieve the speed also. So for example, if you are on our business line website, for example, and you are seeing the stock ticker going,
Correct.
the stock ticker is not delivered from the back end. Actually, the whole thing is compiled and built on the CDN layer itself. We use the CDN level edge computing capabilities, and it pulls up data from the stock exchange dynamically and delivers back to you. Nothing comes to our back end at all. So most of these activities happen at the edge layer itself, and that's where all the malicious request comes in, and that's where everything gets blocked also. So if you have say 30 million page views, and the 30 million page views would equally have a 30 million hits of malicious actors coming in, and those things have to be blocked.
Good. It's so nice to see. I'm sure you started with the old modem days or dial-up modems and all. Nice to see you talking of the latest in technologies. I think we should have a separate session about that.
Yes, I would love to talk about how the whole technology. I think both of us are from that era where we have seen the information technology evolve.
Oh, of course. Old days of dial-up modems.
Yes.
Mainframes, basically. Yes. Good. We'll have a separate session for that.
Yeah.
Coming back to this point, sir. Your journalist, they transfer, I'm sure, sensitive information in many cases back and forth. Do they use some encrypted channel on day-to-day basis?
I would say that from a technical standpoint, we have not given them a correct solution there. And that's one area still, if you ask me,
working on it.
I feel that, but today they use like WhatsApp. primarily
encrypted,
if they want to have because we have tools in which articles are created and the workflow goes through. But if there is a sensitive information, to my knowledge today, it happens through WhatsApp channels between the reporting network and the ATOL senior staff at the office.
We assume that it's encrypted.
Yes, and it's end-to-end encrypted, and there's a closed group that has access to it. And once they have finalized what should be the article, then the article comes into our main platform for it to get published.
Right.
But technically, we have not given any like how FBA or other people will have. We have not given them a solution. But it's always at the back of my mind to build one secure reporting channel for them. I have still not got the technology as well as the time to do it for our scale. Technology is there, but it may not be to our commercial viability at this point in time. Yeah.
Because in WhatsApp it becomes very easy to forward, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
The leakage can also happen.
It can happen, correct. Yes.
Great. And leading question to that is, how do you train all these journalists and especially your staff also internally about cybersecurity, that they should be aware something like cybersecurity is there? So do you do regular programs or something special you
as part of project Samrakshana? I said no, we actually have had an internal training program that was conducted, but I should also accept that we have not done that very frequently, which should be there. As you ask this question, it actually goes into my head that I think that should be done on a regular basis.
Right.
But we have done that one time with all the departments when we actually formulated the program 2 years back in terms of what should be. Then all these processes got part of the day-to-day process. So that works, but I'm sure that we need to conduct that awareness program very regularly, so that it comes like a brush up for them also.
Of course. Yes. And how do these journalists handle sensitive data which may be very sensitive, like a breaking news? Still they use the WhatsApp, or do you have something other way of doing
to my knowledge at this moment it might be through WhatsApp only between the ATOL teams. That means they have a group through which they communicate.
Okay.
As I said, we haven't given a technical solution on that part yet. Might be this could be a trigger for me to expedite that.
Super, thank you so much. And the last question, maybe before we close this this session. What about deep fakes? AI and deep fakes are a big pain for all of us. As a general public, we don't know what to believe, what not to believe.
Yeah.
How media company like you is dealing with it?
I think, as I said earlier, it is still our rigorous editorial verification process that comes into play today. So they ensure that they go and refer back with the sources before they decide that this is actual news to be published. Because with information chaos, I would call, right, when information is there in every channel and immediately getting forwarded in WhatsApp, Facebook and all those things, people actually come to news media houses like us to see, is this a proper news? Right? If you are a Hindu reader, you want to come to Hindu site to see, verify whether this is really true or not, right?
That's a reputation you have built.
Yeah, and that, in fact, coming back to relating this back to your old question, like how we are handling print to digital, right? So basically, irrespective of the channel through which we reach the customer, what we give verified news, we give context to the news, and we give explainers to the news. Right? That's what we do. And all these things are independent of the channel with which we reach the subscriber. So subscribers comes to us for that context, comes to us for that fact verified information. So currently the editorial process is the one that is responsible for handling this, the core values that they
still
follow.
The process is manual, more or less.
It's manual, and they cross verify. As I said, I don't think we have found a technology that can help us to find fake news automatically. It's there. I've been reading articles about that. That's being coming up, but it's same like how to find whether this content is generated by AI or not, right? This is also similar area where there is no foolproof option as of today. But I'm sure that's an evolving area where things comes up. We might be the first to adopt it also.
That's nice. Sir, we have come to this end of this part. I'm sure we can go on talking, but surely there's a time limit. We'll move into next part where it will be more of a lighter questions. It's like a rapid fire questions to know more about you as a person. Hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, I am fine, please.
So in this part, we are going to know you better as a person. My first question is, what is the most surprising thing you have learned from this 145 years old legacy, the Hindu, which we know?
I think one thing that I had 2 stints with the Hindu. So one between 1988 to 97, and now from 2000 onwards. So one thing I have learned from there is the value system survives, and value system is the one that makes the company survive also, independent of the changes that happens through. Hindu has seen tremendous changes in the way news is published and delivered, right from hot metal days to the latest digital technologies we have. But it's a value system that has ensured that the organization survived, and I feel that that's a single learning for me, that you should adhere to your value system as an individual.
Super. Sir, if your daily schedule was a headline, what would it read today?
It would read, remove obstacles,
Okay.
enable individuals, and make them successful.
That's very nice. Sir, if you have to swap your job with various functions which happen in a media company, journalist, editor, and then maybe, I'm sure, graphic designer, which role you would love?
I would actually choose the photographer's role.
Photographer's role. Okay.
Because one, even during exams I find it difficult to write. So I won't choose the role of a reporter, because I'm not good at writing big articles. So the photographer's role, what I would choose actually.
So, great, sir. Sir, if you are given option to choose one non-technical habit in today's technological age, what that would be?
See, my habit of taking notes as and when it comes to me
Okay.
is what I would continue, because what happens is, when you sit to think about a specific topic, that is the time you will never be able to think about that. But when you walk, you go out, thoughts comes in, right? So I would always want to take notes as and when it comes in, so that you can use this to build things back. So that's the non-technical habit that I have.
Okay. If one personal core, which you do day to day, basically, one personal activity you want to automate in your daily life, what that would be?
The payments that I have to do.
Payments.
Because I have not enabled auto payment in any of my payments.
Okay.
And
For
I always
security
go back
reasons? For security reasons?
It's not for to be very frank, lazy to go and create that mandate. If I want to automate, that would be the only thing.
Being in a media company like Hindu, one time I visited a company, there are different type of sound which keeps on coming. Maybe typewriter, earlier it was typewriter, now it may be keyboard.
Yeah.
And you go to other rooms, there will be different type of sound coming in. What is one sound which you will remember even after you retire from that?
I think that's the sound of a US robotics modem handshaking and getting connected.
This is still the old one. Wow.
That's the old one. I think that's the sound that you wouldn't want to miss.
That was the sweetest sound at that time.
Yes, and especially the last part when it completes the handshake. Right, and stops.
I'm sure old viewers who are our age will relate to it, not the young audience.
Yes, if they remember the VSNL days that they dial up to connect to the internet,
they will
have to understand how this sound comes.
They have to dial 20-25 times maybe to get one connection.
Correct.
Great, sir. Thank you. What is the one app in your phone you would never like to uninstall?
That's a notes app that I have.
Notes app.
Yes, because that's where I put notes immediately when it comes to my thought, so it remains there.
Great. Last question, sir. Print or digital? If given a choice, which one you like personally?
I would still go with print.
Still, thank you so much. At least somebody relates with me. Thank you so much. Sir, it was really wonderful talking to you. I'm sure we can spend next couple of hours talking about it, but since time is limited, we'd like to stop here. Surely we'll have another episode with you, especially on older technology and how it has changed.
Sure. I'm also thankful to you for having me here for the discussion, and it was very insightful for me too. And I'm looking forward for the other session for old technology.
Thank you, sir. We'll do it soon. Thank you so much.